Hey, what's going on, Elite Marketing Pro community? I am super excited to be on this training. Make sure that you tune in because what I'm going to be teaching you today is what I like to call the 3 critical elements of creating an introduction inside of whatever kind of presentation that you're doing, whether it's going on Facebook Live, whether it's doing virtual presentations through online events, whether it's doing a presentation through Zoom. There's some important critical elements that you can do in the beginning that I'm going to be sharing with you inside of this training here. So make sure you hop on, make sure you take notes, and make sure that you comment in with me because I'm really, really excited to share all of this stuff with you. And with that being said, I just wanted to say welcome to today's Daily Dose of Awesome call. My name is Kate McShay, and I am a very, very happy member of the Elite Marketing Pro community. And I'm super excited to be here with all of you because I know how powerful Elite Marketing Pro is and what it can do for you and what it can do for your business when you hop on these trainings and when you put what is shared into action consistently. So as everybody's coming on, let me just give some quick shout outs before I get into, like I said before, if you missed as you're coming on here, I'm going to be giving you 3 steps to creating a killer introduction that sells. So what's going on, Michael? Hey, Chuck, how you doing? And I know there's going to be some other people flying on. Coming in, make sure you introduce yourself. Let me know who you are, where you're coming in from. What's going on, Tracy? Hello. Super excited to be here and to be training you today, this morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. All right, what's going on, Lisa? Hey, Ray. Okay, so I'm going to hop in, and as you keep tuning in, let me know who you are, where you're coming in from, and also, more important than anything, interact with me, okay? So one thing that I realized as I was starting out, when I was starting to grow my business online, was one of the biggest things that I started to notice was that one of the biggest things that holds people back from actually doing is thinking about the first element of whatever they're going to be sharing. So let me explain what I mean. So when it comes to have any of you that are on here listening live or watching the replay ever not done a Facebook Live because you're not exactly sure what to say in the beginning, you're not sure how to start, right? Drop a 1 if that's ever happened to you before. Or if you've ever, let me just readjust my camera a little bit, there we go. If you've ever been in a situation where maybe you've been doing like a Zoom presentation training, or you want to do a Zoom presentation, or you want to do webinars at some point, and all of a sudden you kind of like are a deer caught in the headlights. You're not sure what to do, so you put off and you resist, right? Because you just don't know what to do and what to share, so then you don't do anything. I totally get it. Yep, and I had a feeling that some 1s would fly in because I felt the same way when I was first starting out. In fact, if you're one of those people too that feels like, well, who am I? I don't have any results, or I don't have results to share like this person, or I don't have as many results as other people do. You know, what would make somebody want to listen to me? If that's ever happened to you before, I've got good news because I have 3 steps that I'll be sharing with you on basically how to create a killer introduction inside of a presentation so that you're 100% solely focused on your prospect and you don't even have to worry about yourself. So if you're one of those people who hasn't gotten a ton of results, I am here and I got your back because I'm going to shift the way that you think about that beautiful word results. And I'm going to make this a lot more effortless and simple for you. So first step in how to create a killer introduction, okay? Because here's one thing that I do know. When it comes to creating an introduction, you really only do get 1 chance. I mean, the powerful thing about social media is people sometimes watch a video and then they forget that they watched it and they come back and they watch other trainings by somebody. However, if you're like on a Zoom chat, or if you're hopping on, and doing a presentation for others, yeah, you have about 30 seconds in the beginning to get somebody's attention before they get distracted and they move off and go do other things in their normal, regular life, right? Because here's what I'm going to talk about when it comes to creating a killer introduction. I'm going to be talking about how to do it on social media, how to do it online, all right? So one of the biggest things that I learned, okay? So here's the power of Starbucks meetings, of belly-to-belly meetings, of home meetings, of hotel meetings. The power of that, or having people go to events, the power of those specific style of meetup, you could call them, right? Are that you have someone's undivided attention, right? Like when you're talking with someone one-on-one and they're paying attention to you and they're sitting across the table from you, it would be really, wouldn't you agree that it would be really, really inconsiderate if that person all of a sudden started checking their phone or getting up to go order more food or, leaving for 5 minutes and then coming back? It would be really weird, right? Because as human beings, we have been taught that it's respectful to sit at a table and listen to someone and shake your head yes or ask questions when someone else asks you questions, right? However, I want you to consider where you're working on getting prospects to come to you, on where you're working on closing your sales, on where you're working on building rapport with a prospect. When you're doing it online, I want you to think about, this is the first thing to think about when you create a killer introduction. It's super important. Number one is it's not about you. It's just not. It's not about you, because guess what? How many of you, even right now, as you're watching this Daily Dose of Awesome, have something else going on? Like you've got music on in the background, maybe kids are running around, you might be checking your email, or, I don't know, you might have another monitor and you're scrolling through another website, right? It's okay. You can drop a 2 if that's happened to you, because what I want to make you aware of is the fact that we live in a distracted world, and we live in a world where more often than not, you do not have everyone's undivided attention, okay? So just think about that. Think about the fact that when you're trying to present to someone, when you're trying to do a Facebook Live, when you're trying to do something that gets people interested in your products and services, you have to focus the training in on them, okay? Because in their mind, they're thinking, well, what's in it for me? And you have to get them to not be distracted, to then focus in on you, to engage with you, to comment in with you, okay? So how do you do that? Well, the first thing that you do is actually what I did on this Daily Dose of Awesome. Is the one thing that a lot of people do wrong is a lot of people start talking about their story, okay? Or they start talking about themselves, or they start talking about, how excited they are about their product or service, or how excited they are about, whatever it is, but it's all revolved around them, the trainer. Instead, what you want to do in the beginning of your introduction, especially when it's through a Facebook Live or a Zoom chat or anything like that, is make it all about your person. And you can say something as simple as, even go back and listen to the beginning of this training. You can say, welcome to this training, I'm so excited that you're here because I'm going to be sharing with you, 3 steps to create a killer introduction that sells. And the important thing about not talking about yourself first, not even introducing yourself first, but telling them what they're going to get, is because that's like step number 1 of getting their attention. Now, you may not get their full undivided attention in the beginning, and that's okay. However, remember, it's not about you, okay? If you're one of those people, and we'll talk about this in just a second a little bit further, if you're one of those people that says to yourself, well, I don't have the results, how do I present myself? I literally just gave you a way of not having to worry about it being about you at all, because it really truly is about your prospect, okay? So you always want to start with, inside of your presentation, what's in it for them first. And then I'm going to give you 3 really cool questions that you can utilize that I call feeling into the future. Because here's what I know. When people get on live trainings, right? Like a lot of you just said, there were a bunch of 2s dropping in. People are distracted, okay? We live in a world of where people believe that they can multitask and believe that they can watch a Facebook Live and do the dishes at the same time and do both of them with 100% effort, right? So what I like to do is after I've given people what's in it for them from the topic that I'm going to be sharing, I typically ask 3 questions. And the 3 questions, and the cool thing is you can kind of just have them written down on a piece of paper before you start your training or before you start your Zoom call with a one-on-one prospect, is just say, I'm just curious, and comment in, how would it feel? Okay, so how would it feel? What would it feel like? And then if you had all of those things, what would that be worth to you? Okay, those would be the 3 questions, and I'll go through them again one more time. So first question is, how would it feel if? All right, so let's talk about, like, say we have like a weight loss product, right? And you're doing a training on weight loss, or maybe on meal prep or something like that. You can ask these 3 questions, okay? How would it feel if you could effortlessly put on your jeans without shaking them around and zip up your fly without your stomach hanging out? How would it feel if you had the ability to be able to do that and not have to worry about how your clothes fit anymore? What would that feel? How would that feel for you? And so what you're doing with these questions is you're getting people to get out of their current state, okay, their current state of distraction, doing dishes, running around, they're with the kids at the park, whatever it is, and get them into feeling what that might be like if they had those things in the future, okay? So how would it feel if, and then you fill in some sort of desire that they want to have. And then you can do a second question is, and what would it feel like if, all right? And what would it feel like if you had the ability to run around chasing after your kids, playing with them all day long and not getting out of breath? And what would that feel like? And typically, this is what I've learned, and this is actually 100% accurate. I have never had someone ever comment in, right? Because you're looking for engagement. You're looking for people to comment in and say, oh my gosh, that would feel amazing. That would be awesome. I would feel less stressed, or I would feel like I was going places in my weight loss journey. And so the interesting thing is I've never heard someone answer one of those questions with, that would be terrible, or that would be awful, or I don't want that, right? You're utilizing these questions to get them into a space of hanging out with you. And so then the third one is, and what if you had the ability of being able to effortlessly put on like your favorite pants again without having to wiggle and struggle inside of them or buy new clothes, and you had the ability to be able to run and chase after your kids without getting out of breath? What if you had all of those things and you didn't have to, change your, and you didn't have to work out 40 hours a week? What would that be worth to you? Okay. Now, this question's really powerful because you've just gotten them to engage, get themselves out of their current situation, start thinking into the future of what they want. And then when you ask, what would that be worth to you? It's a great sales question because you are now having a sales conversation because they're giving you basically a price tag. And what happens is most people will comment in, oh my gosh, that would be priceless. That would be worth my college tuition. I would pay hundreds for that. And you allow your prospect to get into that space of, that would be absolutely, that would be life-changing for me. And so you get them invested, okay? So it's really important to use those 3 questions. How would it feel if blank? And enter in some desires that they want. What would it feel like to blank? And you can add in more desires. And then, and what if you had both of those things? What would that be worth to you? Okay. So first step is reminding yourself it's not about you, and you share with people what you're going to be talking about that will interest them. Second is utilizing those 3 questions to feel into the future. And then the third one is that I like to share it this way, is that everybody loves an underdog. Okay. How many of you feel like you actually don't have enough results in order to share your story, or to share your story of triumph, or to do Facebook Lives or do presentations online because you feel like you don't have enough results? I just want you to drop a 3 in there if you're one of those people, and it's okay. And if you drop a 3 in, I commend you for your courage, because it shows me that you're willing to grow, and it shows me that you're really willing to want to do what it takes in order to take it to the next level, okay, inside of your business. So it's pretty common that this is what slows most people down. Number 1, how do I interact with people, right, in the beginning, in an introduction, that positions me as an authority and positions me as a leader when I don't have the results that I think I need to have in order to position myself that way, right? Happens a lot. And I commend all of you for your courage that you're putting out there right now, because it's really, really important as a community that we all come together and we acknowledge each other's strengths. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. So when you introduce yourself, okay, a really great thing to practice, a really great thing to go through, a really great thing to outline is how you share your story inside of Facebook Lives, inside of presentations, all together, okay? So this is one thing that I learned because what I used to do is I used to share with, I used to think that I had to share with all of the amazing things that have happened in my life, which frankly, when I first started out, weren't happening. Like I wasn't a top earner. I wasn't a huge producer. I hadn't, recruited a bunch of people in a really, really short amount of time. In fact, I was actually getting messaged by people every day to stop sharing my business opportunity links on their page. Okay. So I was in a space of how am I going to share my results with people when, I might be getting some minimal results or I'm getting people to reach out to me, but who wants to hear about that, right? So instead, I got great advice from someone once that said, Kate, no one wants to hear about all of your trophies in the beginning. Everybody wants to hear about the journey. Everyone loves an underdog. So this is exactly what you do in order to tell your story. So I like to basically explain it as, story of struggle. So like two ideas of story of struggle, when you hit rock bottom, and then what you discovered. Okay. And typically what you discovered is what you're going to talk about inside of your training, or is when you're going to talk about your product and service. So again, it's story of struggle, rock bottom, what you discovered, and then we're going to talk about the underdog piece after that. So an example for me, just so you can understand the process, is I would, when I introduced myself as being a previous second grade teacher when I started working inside of this beautiful space of business, entrepreneurship. And I was basically, my story of struggle is that I was utilizing my business opportunity links and I was posting them inside of groups all over other people's fan pages and all over my personal timeline. Obviously was not getting any results, and then that was basically my other piece of struggle. I was not getting results, right? And then the third piece, my rock bottom, is when I had a conversation with my husband after about working the business for 6 months. And he said, hey, Kate, it's okay if this business isn't for you. Because he was seeing me really struggle, like cry every day. I was not happy. I was just like, I was doing everything wrong and I wasn't really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And he just said, hey, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe go back to teaching. It's okay if you go back to teaching. And that's when I discovered, the ability of attraction marketing, which all of you are learning right now, the ability to get people to come to me, right? So that can be the beginning of your story. So start thinking about what are the actual terrible things that maybe you've done or the things that have been really ineffective, and it's okay to share them. Because what does that do? I want you to comment in what that does when you share the things that you've done wrong, when you share the things that have been incredibly ineffective, right? When you share your rock bottom story, when you share that moment of when you're pretty much ready to quit, what does that do? Okay, so as you're commenting in, I'll give you a little bit of my perspective on what that does. It creates authenticity. It creates vulnerability. And Danielle, you nailed it. It makes you relatable and real. That's all people want. Is they want relatability, they want real. They don't want to know how many trophies you've gotten. They don't want to know how many awards you have yet, okay? They don't want to worry about any of that. They want to know, is somebody else in a current situation that I'm in, or have they been in a worse situation than I've been in, right? Very often with some of the things that I did, some of the posting methods that I did, I have people who say, thank goodness I never got that bad. And I'm okay with that because my job is to be a messenger of information. It's not to toot my own horn, right? So yeah, you're all nailing it. Honest, they feel what you're saying, authenticity, relatability, reality, makes them feel that they can do it too. Exactly. So that's how you start, okay? And then the next step is you start talking about basically, I call them results. However, I want you to consider thinking about the word results differently. So I'm going to ask you a question, okay? And I want you to comment in with a 4. How many of you have ever reached out to another prospect and had them respond back to you? Okay? I don't care if it's your grandmother. I don't care if it's your cousin. I don't care if it's your neighbor. How many of you, drop a 4, if you've reached out to a prospect and they've reached back out to you? Okay? Drop a 4 in. How many of you have ever recruited someone into your network marketing business? If you're in network marketing or if you're in affiliate marketing or promoting Elite Marketing Pro stuff, how many of you have ever had someone interested in your product and service? And drop a 4 if you've ever closed someone into your business, no matter what, whether it's cold market, whether it was your spouse. I want you to drop in a 4, okay? And I want you to drop in a 4 if you've ever had belief that what you're doing in your business will, you just know that this business is going to help be a vehicle in order to maybe take the vacation you've always wanted to take, or create the significance in your life that you've wanted to create in your life, right? I love the 4-4, Becky. Everybody's dropping 4s. So here's what I can tell you, all right? As you're seeing all of these 4s fly in, what does that tell you about results? Think about that. What does that tell you about the word results? All right? All of these 4s are flying in. People have gotten other people to reach out and get prospects. Some people have enrolled people into their companies. Other people have unshakable belief that what they're doing and what they're working on will help them have an ability to be able to do the things that you want to do inside of your life, right? It's a vehicle to have you do the things you want to do inside of your life. So here's the deal. All of those 4s being dropped give you, and if you dropped in 4s, guess what? You have results that someone else wants to know about. You have results, exactly right. We've all gotten results, still maybe not where you want to be. However, do you think that there are people out there that would love to know what happened in order to close that person into your business, right? There are other people who need the information exactly, Richard and Joanna. You already have results to share. So when I go through my introduction and I talk about like the ridiculous things that I did in the beginning, right? Then I transition into results. Your results do not have to be as big and badass as people say. They do not have to be these trophies. They can be little steps that are leading towards a bigger future for you. So an example could be, and here's the cool thing that's happened is, I now have prospects reaching out to me. Okay, if you have prospects reaching out to you or connecting with you, or you have prospects connecting back with you after you reach out to them, that is a result someone else wants. Okay, another kind of result would be, and now I'm starting to learn how to close more people into my business in a more effective way. Even if you're not where you're at, it's all about how you use your language. And then another one is things you're proud of. Okay, so this is another step when you share your story of your introduction is things you're proud of. Now I'm proud that maybe I have more energy than I ever have before, or I have the ability, or I know what vehicle I'm going to be utilizing in order to help me get my family to Disney next year, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to have already gone on the vacation. However, you have the vehicle that's going to take you there, and you're going to share it with others. And then if you have any awards or if you have any things before, and if you have, drop a 4 if you've ever rank advanced before. If you've ever rank advanced before, and I don't care again if it's family members, like if you rank advanced initially really fast in the beginning, then it's okay for you to share that. You don't have to be the top earner in your company before you start sharing your story and relating with other people, okay? So you can share your small win results, right? Things that you're most proud of. Maybe you've become a better parent because now you have more time. Maybe you have date nights again. So think of the little things that people would really want to have in their lives and share those, okay? All of you are dropping 4s. So what I want you to remember is that you have results that other people want, okay? So in summary, when you think about these 3 things, now here's what's cool, all right? When you actually sit down and you look through, number 1, the first thing you do is you share what they're going to be getting on the training. Then you can just say your name, quick introduction, and then go into your 3 questions, right? How would it feel if you had blank? What would it feel like to blank? And if you had those things, what would that be worth to you? And then the third part is sharing your introduction, right? The things that you did ineffectively first, and then share those results that all of you that are commenting in and you're posting in 4s, look at the little things that have already happened to you with what you want to share and what you want to present and what kind of results you've gotten, okay? Because you are much more powerful already than you may even realize. Now, the cool thing about this introduction is this can take just a few minutes as you work through it and as you practice it and as you build it out. However, it can be highly, highly powerful inside of whatever kind of presentations you're doing or whatever kind of trainings that you're doing. It's a great way to get people hooked, okay? So my hope for you today, more important than anything, as we wrap up this daily dose of awesome, is that you take all or elements of what I shared and put it into action, because there's never going to be anything that is accomplished, or there's not momentum that's moved forward until effective action is taken, okay? So I want you to say, I'm in, if you're going to be taking some element of this daily dose of awesome into action, all right? That's what I want to know, because that's the most important part. And I know here at Elite Marketing Pro, that is what Elite Marketing Pro does, is that it helps all of you get yourself into action mode, get yourself resourceful, and get yourself into a space of where you're sharing your information. And you're not just growing yourself, but you're helping to grow others, okay? So with that being said, this daily dose of awesome is a wrap. I hope that you got a ton of value from it. I had a lot of fun doing it with you, and I hope to see you again inside of this community. Take care, everybody. Love you, and we'll talk soon.